Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Frozenmelon, and welcome back with some Moonlighter. Welcome back to my little store. It has been a while since we were playing, to the point where I even forgot what we're doing. Which, for me, is pretty standard, I think. Ooh, I want to take everything out. That seems like a terrible idea. So, if I remember... Oh, I don't remember, that's the problem. If I know me, and pass me very well, because I did not even look at the old video I put on this, I think I'm just going to focus on trying to get the upgrades to all the gear that I want. And maybe even upgrading some of my weapons. So we've got like the Venom. That's interesting. No, we'll just go very Knight's short sword. Because, you know, and bare bones basic. And then, yeah, get them the natural bow. Or poison bow. I can go poison bow, right? Can we go poison bow? Probably not. We'll probably just stick with the normal, the natural bow. But we have lots of money to spend. We have lots of money. I remember now a little bit. Okay, cool. Money, spending. This is what we need to be able to do. We could get the banker, but we can only... Oh, we've got to... I've got to unlock more of that stuff. Okay, fine, fair enough. But... Shop level 2! Shop level 2. It is the way we like to have things. Phew, that was hard work. Still, while trusting me. Remember, it is bigger... it is bigger in the inside. No, it's bigger on the inside, not... And voila! Ooh. So... Ah, okay. So we've unlocked the ability. That's pretty good. So yeah, put rare, valuable items in there. They can't be stolen. So we've unlocked a request counter. That's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Oh yeah, and now we have more room, so we can shove a lot more stuff all over the place. As it were. Got more people. No longer wait times. People fast. No, give me more money. No, don't put those in there. More money again. Okay, we need to change the other one. We need to change the other one. I know I'm messing around with stuff, but you know me. I am a moron even at the best of times. I think that is everything I can put around for now. But what about later? We need to go dungeon running. Before we do that, though... Ooh. My shop. We've got these upgrades, which we all need 70,000 for. Okay. We'll work towards those also. And I guess we'll also have the other guy I can get also. Potion me, please. So we can make those potions now, which is great. We'll make a good 5 of them, because it'd be nice to have some of the upgraded potions. I could buy some more of the other ones, but we'll worry about that later. I now have 10 potions. Equip those, and let's move on. But yeah, I mean, my prep work's done, so, you know, usual questions. How are we all doing? We all doing okay? Hope we all are. For me, a lot of stuff is keeping me monumentally busy, as it were. Which can't really help about it all, but yeah. You know, just the way things are sometimes. It would be nice if I wasn't always busy, but you know. Work is work. Other agreements and stuff have changed circumstances, and time will now have to be adjusted to compensate for that, which is annoying, but yeah. Is what it is, you know? Do I need to read this to get something out of it? Let's read. More patterns, more secrets. For those diving so far as the third floor, have you ever felt overburdened? Carrying just too much loot, too much treasure. You know what to... You don't want to stop, you just can't stop. And I've got something for you. Hidden somewhere on the third floor between where you start and where you end. The end here being the massive creature at the bottom of a dungeon, meaning the dungeon's end is more than likely your end. But between those two spots, one may notice a sparkle, a glimmer of something just beyond a pit of infinite darkness. If you are brave, and if you're brave, I ask you to jump in and see what's down there. So that's talking about the little secret rooms we end up discovering when we fall down. You know, letting them know that if we do fall down on those, we can find hidden treasures and stuff. So this one here, or this gooey one. And that's the next dungeon's location as well. So that's pretty cool. Because we can collect some of the other materials from here. We'll swap our weapons over. I like having the other you know, some of the extra items that we should be able to get. It's kind of nice. Because getting some of the early materials is kind of difficult sometimes, right? Oh, I'm having Yeah, we just gotta dodge them. Easier to dodge. Don't try and overpower them. I'm having troubles doing that. Use one. Use a weaker potion when we can. Save the bigger ones for later. That's the secret dungeon thing in there. So let's try and explore this floor a bit more. But yeah, for now we're just trying to essentially collect a bunch of resources so I can hopefully level up some stuff, right? Because that's the main thing I want at the moment, is to upgrade my gear, get better stuff, get better armor, it's all that, you know, all that stuff, and then we'll move on. Been enjoying some games at the moment, which you probably can tell, because I've been putting more up on the on the channel. I got more to come on the way once I do get the chance to record them, which is kind of nice. And yeah, I mean, I welcome all the new subscribers and stuff. You know, although my gameplay is terrible, I have been enjoying playing games a little bit more. And do we want to do this challenge? I think it's worth the go, right? Yeah, let's give this a go. Yep. So yeah, I mean, welcome one and all. It is nice to see you all. Well, I would say see you all, but it's nice to know that you kind of enjoy some of the content I put up. As I said, I do a bit of a mixture of everything, just because, you know, for me, I also enjoy watching other people produce a variety of content rather than just, like, singular types of content, right? And, yeah, so I end up just kind of uploading whatever I like watching myself, which is, you you know, both good and bad, I guess. But yeah, I'm just happy that other people seem to be enjoying it as well. And you know, I try and keep myself active. I'm learning, even as an adult, I need to be more sociable. So I know I'm terrible at it. Like, you know, it is just a thing that I'm like that. Whether for good or bad, I am terrible when it comes to actually knowing when I should or should not interact with people, right? And it's not like it's in a bad way, right? It's just, I would say, sometimes it's hard to remember that not everyone is the same as myself. Yeah? Does that kind of make sense? Let's go face this boss, the tree again. And it's something that I think, it's sometimes hard to kind of, like, remind yourself. You know what, I think that was a good haul. I think we will leave it there for that run. There's no point risking any more. We've got all the potions and stuff. We can leave. We're safe. Yeah. That was a good haul. But yeah, I need to be more interactive. So yeah. You know? I will try to be, but yeah, at the moment, I will try my best, as I said before. Interesting. I would like the chest one. The chest mimic is what I would really like, right? Because you can store items in it. It's always the best option. The forge is ablaze. There we go. Oh, cool. Yeah, so you got the other materials. We actually unlocked all of these ones to have a look at. Not that we're really going to get all those materials, but if we find them, it might not be too bad. We still don't have enough for that yet, so we can't upgrade those. Can't upgrade the leggings, so that's not the way we want to go either. Not quite on the sword, and not quite on the bow. Okay, so we're just going to store everything for this time. And shall we jump into doing a sale, is the question. Or should we just go on another dungeon run? Everything goes in here now. Except you, and you, and you. You in the big chest. Because you need to be storable. Because I need all that stuff for me, and me alone. We could sell those crystals, but eh. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with all this stuff. Plus, like, look at all the potion things I can probably combine and make up as well. Do I think I have enough stuff to sell for a day? No. So let's go do another run. And then I guess we'll leave the sales for the next one. Although I do want to kind of test out my new shop, but yeah, we'll leave that and go dungeon delving again. And let's have a look at what this has got on there. Yeah, we've already unlocked him, Orca. Can't upgrade it, so that's that. But yeah, we need like 70,000 to increase all of this extra stuff. Which for me is probably just the bed, the chest, and the sails. Well, probably the sails first, then the bed, then the chest. Right. Oh, what? No, nothing on there for sale. Do we want to get some potions while we're here? There's a question. Do I have any enchantments on my armor and stuff I can do? I can. Just up the damage off them, isn't it? Let's add the bow, why not? Because that's a huge bonus to that. We'll enchant the bow. I don't know which one I've got equipped. I don't have a gold for it. I should use the sword, but it's fine. It's fine. Right. just take my stuff and go, and then we'll do just another, like, kind of surface level run, I think. Or should we just go back to the old dungeon? Just try and claim all the resources we can. Let's just do a normal top heavy run. Try and get as many of the materials we want to kind of upgrade my equipment. And then look at selling, because we know what to buy. But yeah, my social engagement has always been a bit off, you know. Not like because of anything stupid. To be honest, it's more like stupidity and laziness on my part. You know, it's something that I have to learn to accept that I am terrible at doing, even if I don't mean to be. Like, and I always it comes across in a negative fashion because of I am like that. I like talking to people, interacting with people. I can do it really well in the sense of, like, I can be nice, I can be sociable, and everything. But knowing when and keeping up that level of, you know, sociability is my problem, right? I guess it's kind of what, you know, what made me good at some of my old jobs, right? As some of my old managers and stuff used to turn and say, especially like working within like customer service bases and stuff like that, I had a natural gift to the gab to turn and make people like me. In my opinion, though, it was more just the fact that I just kind of feigned enough interest to be like, yeah, I'm a good person, and if they kind of knew me any more than that 5 minutes of interaction, or however long it was, they'd be like, man, that guy's a nut job. I'm like, yeah, that's the real me. How did you not find that out until later? So yeah, it is on my list to improve myself in that aspect, right? So to do that, there'll be things that I will try and do. I think I have set up a Blue Skies account, which is a frozen melon, which I probably will end up posting stuff on there and things, but it was just more the fact that I kind of created it to at least have it very there and ready. So will it be something I'll end up using quite a lot? I will try to and interact with people and be a normal human being. Because I am clearly not very good at it, even on a normal basis. It was actually a discussion with me and some of my friends and stuff. We were discussing on like what would you do if like you just woke up in the middle of nowhere, and like, do you think you would survive? Do you think you would like actually be able to, you know, continue on? And then all my friends kind of looked at me and went like, well, you know, Jamie's fine. Like, what do you mean you know I'll be fine? It's like, just you don't really care for anyone in the first place, and you seem to have a lot of random knowledge that is of no use to you except in the time of need. I can see that. I can see that. You know, I've just got a random bunch of knowledge and set of skills that are not applicable anywhere except for when I particularly need them at the right time. And I'm like, yeah, I can't really say no to that. They're all useless in practicality, but, you know, when they're needed, they are really useful. I guess it comes back to one of the things I ended up discussing in some older videos and stuff like that on, like how I think a lot of knowledge, I think, is being lost through just it not being needed anymore, right? Which is one of those things where you can't really fault anyone for it. It's just something that's happening. Yeah, we'll push down a little bit. We'll heal up first, though. One potion and into here. it's just something that's kind of happening within our society, whether it be skills that are applicable to normal everyday life, survival skills, which aren't really necessary, but when they are needed, they're pretty much like essential for you to have them. And then, you know, just general sort of like handicraft stuff, you know? I mean, these seem like very like complex things. Like, a good example of it is, you know, knowing how to sew holes out of trousers and stuff like that. And then people look at me like, you know how to sew, like, fix trousers by restitching them. Like, yeah. Like, well, why doesn't anyone else? Right? I am not the weird one. Let's see what the 4 is on this first. Okay, can't stop yet. Like, why am I the weird one for knowing that? I mean, it does help that, like, when I was at school, we had a textiles class, and I admit I was fairly good at that because my nan back in the day. Bless her, she did teach me a lot of the stuff to be able to do stuff like that, right? For her, she believed like it was essential for me to be able to like do that sort of stuff. And I completely agree with her. Like 100%. I may have not needed to like learn it in the sense of like, I guess we will leave and move on because I wasn't gonna hurt myself even more, and I don't need that, so. But yeah, mainly it was stuff I ended up picking up on. I was like, yeah, actually that's probably useful to me now, and then like she taught me how to cook and like what cleaners to use when cleaning and like random stuff that nowadays when I look back at it I'm like, yeah, I remember her teaching me a lot of that stuff. My parents taught me a lot as well. My mum taught me like, you know, how to fold laundry and use an iron and all that cool stuff. But yeah, I would say my mum's ironing is terrible. It's a running joke in the family that she's taught everyone how to iron and they're all better than her. We'll never admit that to her though. Her ironing is amazing if you ever do meet her. But sorry, Mum. But yeah, it was always a running joke. Like, we appreciate my mum's all her hard work and everything else as well, but we used to take the mick out of her for kind of like general stuff. Like, she used to cook for a family, and it's hard work cooking for a family, especially when you've got like 5-6 people to cook for every single time there's, you know, a bunch of people around. The issue is like when you cook in bulk like that, it tends to build up bad habits over time. And my mum would try and cook stuff that you could easily relax while cooking, which eventually started making her a lazy cook in the sense that she could just boil something and leave it going for, you know, 20 minutes or something and not have to worry about it, which meant that when the rest of us ended up cooking, we took our time and effort, prepped the ingredients, seasoned, kept the temperature, kept an eye on it, and she'd always turn around and moan the fact that ours was really nice, and she wondered why hers always tasted different. And then we used to make the jokes like, yeah, because we keep an eye on our food. Bless her. She worked way too hard for the family. I will admit that. But yeah. Anyway, I guess we will leave that here for today. So yeah, we've managed to collect some resources. So we've got a couple of full chests-ish, kind of. And then we'll have... Actually, no, let's just jump in trying to... Yeah, we'll do another quick John Deere run, why not? We'll do another run. Because that gets us to daytime when we come out of the portal, and then we can look to sell in the next video. Why not? Why not? We'll collect all the resources. But yeah, it was... Trust me, like, trying to feed for that many people is a massive nightmare. Actually, no, let's get some potions first. Potions first, potions first. Then we'll probably just go to the basic, normal dungeon run. That way we can start building up some other weapons and stuff. Maybe trying them out. one of those, and then I'll buy 4 of them. Cool. Costs a lot, but they're worth it. I'll get that back over time. But let's go down into this one. Maybe we can, like, you know, defeat the boss again. Maybe. But yeah, it was always one of those things where, like, as a kid, you probably don't appreciate it as much, right? Because you don't see the amount of effort that your parents do to kind of look after you, feed you, clothe you, and everything else as well. And as much as, like, you say you appreciate it, you don't quite grasp on how much they actually ended up doing, right? You don't really grasp it until you end up having to do all that stuff yourself, which, you know. But at the same time as well, like, when you do it for that length of time, it becomes sort of just a general thing that you end up doing, right? And you'll use everything you can and you know to kind of essentially make it as easy for you as possible, right? We're creatures of habit, and although we're creatures of habit, we're also creatures of... what's the word? Actually, yeah, we'll take this and see how far we get with it. Maybe get some really good stuff from here. We're creatures of habit, but we're also creatures of, like, comfort and... what's the word I'm thinking of? Convenience, that's right. Everything we do has to be, like, at, like, our own convenience. There's no way that we can kind of just leave something to be... oh, you don't bash on the chest, that's annoying. You know, like, we can't really kind of, like, go out of our own way, in essence, when it comes to that sort of stuff, right? We have to kind of just, like, wait to make stuff easier, or as easy as possible for us to be able to do it. I'm the biggest fault of that. I know that for a fact. Like, I will not do something if it's inconvenient for me in the majority of cases, right? But it also means that if something isn't inconvenient for me, I am, you know, I will quite easily just go and do it. Let's get this upgraded again. I was hoping you're gonna be something I could actually, like, hit straight away. So I know it's one of those things where I say, like, I'm not oblivious to it, but, like, you just learn how you have to kind of accept it as part of what we are as humans, right? As much as, like, you wish it wasn't, it is what we are. Can I do this again? I can do it again. Let's go. Oh, great. Like, it's not a bad thing, it's just, yeah. It's a way that we're able to cope with, like, monotonous tasks on a, like, daily and even, like, consistent basis, because if we couldn't do that, we wouldn't, you know, be doing the things we're doing right now, right? Really? You didn't hit the wall? There you go, hit the wall now. Nice! Defeat all 4 waves in a wave room. No, I can't make it go bigger again. Let's pick all this stuff up. So now we got this red chest. Let's open up. Do I get any... Ooh! New stuff. Cool. Is there stuff that sends stuff home first? There is. Cool. So let's do that. Let's send some of this some of this cool stuff home. I mean, I should do like full stacks, but you know me, I am extremely inefficient when it comes to all these things. And we got a ring. What does this do? Ring counts any full damage and slowing effect in exchange for 20% less probability for enemy drops. Huh. That's not bad. That could be far worse, right? I like cow. I still have not put his potions in. Why are you there? There we go. I guess for that on that one. And I guess we're just going to get rid of all the low-cost stuff again. You. I don't need any more of those. The jellies are kind of full up. I keep forgetting I need to like make sure I play the right stuff, right? What else is kind of cheap? This. Guess that's a full stack, which can go as well. That's only one. I keep hitting B when I don't mean to hit B. My brain does do silly stuff all the time. Okay, there we go. That sorts out that chest. Let's move back up, right? But yeah, it's one thing, especially like with all this stuff kind of coming up as well. Like I will admit, never to my mum's face, that I'm a bit of a mummy's boy. In the sense that, you know, my mum is important to me, right? And there are plenty of things that my mum was always good at, which she either kind of just never explored or never took any further because, you know, she comes from the generation that you have kids and stuff, you know, those are the things that you end up doing when it was sort of her generation. Like, she'll never regret it, never does in a million years, but it's a hard thing to realize, like, as a kid, that your parents probably sacrificed a hell of a lot more than you know, and trying to come to terms with that sometimes is very difficult. Not in the sense like, you know, oh yeah, you caused your parents not to be able to do all this stuff. It's more the fact that it's the realization of like, yeah, actually my parents did quite a lot for me. You know, when it does finally hit you, like, oh, this is kind of what they meant, but we don't appreciate it. It is definitely the small things, right? And that's why nowadays, like, you know, I try and appreciate my parents the best way I possibly can do, right? Am I good at it? Probably not. You know, I am not perfect even as an adult. You know, myself being a man makes it sometimes very hard to articulate what I mean and my own feelings and stuff. But yeah. So I said, yeah, if you are out there and you're kind of looking back and some of this kind of like brings a little bit, you know, some home truths and stuff like that, you know what to do, right? You know what to do. The main thing is just make it a sense of practice. So this was something that I tell a lot of my friends, right? Like, it's the most hilarious thing that ends up popping up because of the fact that... Well, I might as well explain it to you, right? For some odd reason, and I'll say it now, the best relationship advice experts you'll ever meet on this planet are people that have been single for way too long. And you want to know why? Because at that point, they can see what you're doing wrong while you are doing it and explain why you are doing it wrong. Yeah? They generally will call out your BS while you're in a relationship before you even do it. And what's hilarious is I am the single friend amongst my friends. I am that single friend amongst all my friends. So when my friends come moaning at me, being like, "Oh yeah, they just do this," I'm like, "Dude, just suck it up. Or, yeah, dude, okay, you are probably right on that. Like, when I say something, it seems to carry a lot more weight than when someone else says it in our friend group, and it's absolutely hilarious to me. Not because I believe my advice is any good, but it's more the fact that I think, because I'm not in a relationship, I tend to appreciate the, I know that my friends should probably appreciate the relationship they're in the right way, and if they think they're misunderstanding something, they can't process it because, they're personally invested, and this is where I think a lot of relationship arguments end up happening, is because you are so personally invested in the relationship that it becomes not a discussion about the small things become bigger discussions about other stuff because of you either didn't want to hurt the other person's feelings, or because there's some missed level of communication that you guys just aren't expressing with each other on, right? I'm not saying the relationship in any way, form would be, is bad. It is just, it's like that thing where it's like you quite haven't really found your ways of communicating with each other. And it's hugely difficult. Like, hugely difficult to find that. I mean, one of the things I used to tell a lot of my friends, like, if you guys can't communicate, like, by talking to each other, there are better ways of doing it. I think one of my favorite one, which there was some of like through friends who kind of said, like, if you guys are having relationship issues, speak to him. He'll talk sense into both of you. As I kind of gave the idea of the fact that, like, every time they ever spoke about stuff, because it was such a personal matter for both of them, and they were both very emotional people, they couldn't quite communicate without upsetting the other person. When you upset the other person, they get upset, and then they don't communicate very well as well, which is, it goes nowhere at that point, right? It literally goes nowhere. So what do you do in that situation? What is the answer? My solution, which I said was to get, like, a diary or something. I got hit by that. And basically put it at the front of the door of the house or something, right? And then anything that you have in regards to something you want to say, something you want to talk about, something you want to discuss, it goes in the book and you discuss it only with the book. Now, this seems really hard at first because it basically means you have to kind of bottle up your own feelings and not express them when you want to express them with your partner or other things like that. And yes, it's an absolute nightmare for a couple that probably was based on communication and, always been interacting with each other, to sit there and say, just, like, not communicate about those things to each other, like, in the short term, right? But what you end up doing is you separate out those emotional debates and you leave it in the book, right? All that thing happens only in the book. You never have anywhere else, which means your home can almost become a safe space again. The book is now the horrible place you want to avoid because that's where all the arguments happen. But you still read it because it allows you to kind of take time to think about what you're going to write down, because it's going to be there later and you can see how stupid you were, and hindsight is very good at stopping you from saying stupid shit. And the cool thing about it is, like, as you kind of progress and you kind of get better at communicating and you create that safe space in your own home and with each other and everything else, you find that you'll stop having those, like, mini arguments, those mini debates and stuff like that with each other, and you can then start using that book as more of a positive thing. So, like, after a few months of them kind of using that book and realizing they didn't really have much to talk about, and I turned around and said, it's like, okay, you don't really have much to talk about anymore. So, do you guys say nice stuff to each other? Do you buy her flowers and things like that? do you compliment him on how he looks, how he's acting, if he seems in a good mood? Do you surprise him with stuff? Do you surprise her with stuff? All those little things, right? And then, it comes out, it's like, oh, no, we don't really do that anymore. And I say, well, why don't you? Like, is it because you don't have time? Is it because it's very difficult? Is it because you feel like there are too many prying eyes around or things like that? And they went, a mixture of different things, which, is kind of acceptable. It's, you can't solve every problem out there. And I said, well, now you've got this book at the front of your door that you can kind of have, your own secret love affair between yourselves again. No one else is going to pry in on that. No one else is going to do on it. You can write all sorts of stuff in there that you want to do and express who you are to both to each other again. And you found out that because, one, this was a safe space, we couldn't be intruding on each other. They could open up a lot more than probably what they had been doing in the past. They had more intimate discussions in there as well, and they finally communicated on probably a more deeper level, which was the more surprising thing to me, because I didn't think they would. I thought it was just a way for them to kind of be all lovey-dovey to each other without actually having to physically express it. They could express it in the book, which means like you can see that sort of other side to your partner, right? Ooh, emergency speed. And, it kind of gets you back into that sort of early phases of a relationship of, that whole lovey-dovey era and usual things like that as well, right? Because that's what a lot of people end up missing. It's, oh yeah, we used to be so cute and good together, and look at us now, we're arguing bitterly about everything that we ever do. I'm like, yeah, but, why are you arguing? What are the issues? Like, practically speaking, what are the problems that you guys are actually having? Is it really a problem, or is it just more the fact that you guys are just terrible at communicating with each other without the lovey-dovey phase being over, right? We'll just send that over to the other way. What does this do? Oh, it becomes an artifact of random stuff. Cool. So we can do that. I can go there. That is way too cheap, I think. So yeah. And I was kind of surprised how much it worked for them. Admittedly, it's not for everyone, right? It's a very hard thing to kind of go through from sort of the changes, and for them it kind of works because it meant it removed the emotional arguments and everything else they had from each other, meaning that they could actually express themselves more in their own home a little bit, and then once they kind of got that, that sort of comfort back again with each other and how their relationship was, meant that, they didn't need to have that separation between those debates and those talks anymore. They could actually express themselves like adults, believe it or not. Admittedly, depending on other relationship problems and stuff like that, there are different ways around it, right? Like, stuff like that isn't for everyone. I think in most cases it's that sort of level of understanding and how you create those safe spaces that allow you both to communicate with each other regardless of what relationship or how long you've been together for is, right? I mean, you could be in a relationship for a week with someone and want to marry them the next day. Or you could be in a relationship with someone for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years and still not be married, but you're kind of happy with it, right? At the end of the day, it's kind of what makes you both happy, and normally issues arise because one has a different expectation of something compared to the other party, right? Is that healthy? That's for you guys to figure out, right? No one knows any relationships more than anyone else. I mean, my last relationship pretty much was a full self-imploding mess at one point. But I had to realize that myself. No one else was going to tell me it was. Right? They're going to break anyway if I take another hit, so let's get rid of them. This stuff here. And these are the things you have to kind of come to realize yourself, right? No one's going to tell you these things. No one's going to, you know, give you the easy way out. You kind of got to either work through it or not work through it and figure out if you can work through it. Is stuff like that fair most of the time? Not really. As a man, is it very difficult for you to express yourself in majority of cases? A lot of the time, yes. As a woman, do you ever already understand what your partner is thinking most of the time? No. Does he do stupid stuff all the time? Yes, he will. He's a bloke. You know? Or as a woman in another female, you know, in a woman relationship or in a bloke and bloke relationship, are there problems there as well? Yes, of course there are. The difference is because, you know, you guys aren't the same person, but then the differences is what make you guys a couple, right? You're not a couple for the similarities between you both. You're a couple because you find each other interesting. Ooh, another ring. Emergency health. Ooh. 50% when HP is under 20%. That's pretty good. But yeah. I nitpick over a lot of stuff. I always do. But then it gives me time that, you know, gives me that time to analyze things like that. Do I think I give good advice to people? Nah, I think my advice is awful most of the time. As I always used to say to friends, like, if I gave good advice, I wouldn't be single. But then, you know, me being single is just me and who I am. I learned to accept that ages ago, the fact that, you know, I'm me. I don't need to be anyone else, and I'm happy being me. If you want to nitpick over the small stuff and sweat the small stuff and, you know, panic about who you are, what you want to be, if your goals haven't been hit and stuff like that, like why bother worrying about it, right? There's no need. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? There are bigger problems out there than you worrying about sort of like why you haven't achieved things you wanted to achieve or stuff like that. Will you achieve eventually? It's up to you. Entirely up to you. If you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, then you don't have to do it. But as I always say, if you've got goals you want to do, start with small things, right? Start with small little things that, you know, can make you happy that you achieve stuff, and then build up to bigger things. So set kind of goals and boundaries on, if I do this, then I can do this, then I can do this. But then break them down with each individual, you know, step one at a time. Don't overcomplicate it. I say it's easier to crack an egg than it is to cook an omelette, right? So start working on the egg first, then you can cook your omelette. I think that was always stuff that my dad used to say was, you know, just think about it simply. Like, what have you got to do? What's the next thing you got to do after that? And then what's the next thing you got to do after that? Next thing he goes, okay, so you've got like about 5, 6, 7 steps. Now, it seems like a lot, but just start with the first one. Do that. Then do the next one. Then do the next one. Then do the next one. And then by the time that you've got through 3 or 4 of them, you realize, oh, you're halfway done. Have I broken something? Yeah, I broke something. Of course I would. Pylons, you go in the bag. I'm running out of space and stuff, aren't I? And I'm probably going to need to... Should we leave that here? Got more stuff, though. Ooh, more pylons. Good thing I backtracked. I was just going to leave. Yeah, let's leave that here for today. So we've got some extra exploring. I will instead, though, let's do this. Create a teleport, and we'll go back. That way we can come back here and then face off the boss against the next one. You know, make useful decisions for once. For once. And I guess we'll leave it there for now, so next time we can jump straight into just selling stuff, and then hopefully upgrading my goods, doing more things, and then doing some more dungeon diving. But yeah, again, if you do enjoy these videos, and again, maybe you learned something about both me and yourselves as well today as well, it would be nice. You know, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.